Hello there, welcome to CXC Math TV. Today we're going to be going through the paper 1 of the integrated mathematics from June 2021. Alright, so we're going to have lots of fun with this paper here. So the first question, it starts by saying item 1 refers to the following Argand diagram. Which of the following complex number is represented on the Argand diagram? So remember, the complex number is always represented with the real part first plus the imaginary part. So we can see that the real part is 1. So our complex number z, if we want to call it z, is equal to 1 plus our imaginary part, the y value is negative 4. So that's 1 minus 4i. Alright, so 1 minus 4i, that's our complex number. That's option A. Alright, question 2. Question 2 says, if t equal ax to the n, then you notice what they do. What they do is log both sides. So let's go ahead and log both sides. If we log both sides for question 2, we're going to get log t is equal to log ax to the n. But by rules of logarithm, we can break up log ax to the n as log a plus log x to the n. Because you have to remember this rule that says the log of ab is equal to log a plus log b. Right? Nice. And so the next rule of logarithm that we have to remember is that we can bring down the power. And so by bringing down the power, we'll get that log t is equal to log a plus n log x. So this is the rule we have to remember again. Log a to the n is n log a. That's the power law. So we look which one has this option. Log t equal log a plus n log x. That's option A. Nice. Alright, question 3. Question 3 says a function is such that f of x equal x squared minus 3x plus a. If f of negative 2 equal 8, what's the value of a? So notice they give us a x value. The input is negative 2 and the output is 8. In that case, we can set up our equation. So we're saying when the y value is 8, so 8 is equal to negative 2 squared minus 3 times negative 2 plus a. Negative 2 squared is 4. Minus 3 times minus 2, remember, is positive 6 plus a equal 8. So we just need to bring everything to one side. So bring over the 4 and bring over the 6, or you can add them first. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus a is 8. And so 8 minus 10 equal a. In other words, a should be negative 2. So that's option B. Now, when you get your answer, what I ideally recommend for you to do is just check it. Look how we're going to check it. So take out your calculator, put in negative 2 square minus 3 times negative 2 minus 2. That should give you 8. So let's see. Yes, we got our 8. In other words, the negative 2 is definitely a. Wow! So that's question 3. Alright, question 4. Question 4 says if x minus 3 is less than 4x plus 1, then, so as we can see right here, this is just a linear inequality. So we need to group our x on one side and group the numbers on the other. I'm going to bring my x over to the right side. So if I bring the x over here, I will have negative 3 is less than, bring the x over here by subtracting x from both sides. And so realize 4x minus x, that's 3x plus 1. So now I can bring the 1 over to the other side there. And so when I subtract 1 from both sides now, I will have negative 4 is less than 3x. But I can just spin it around and say 3x is greater than negative 4 because that look more appropriate. And then I will divide both sides by 3. So dividing both sides by 3, we end up get x is greater than negative 4 over 3. That's option D. Really nice. Alright, question 5. Question 5 says, which of the following parabolic graphs best represents y equal negative x squared minus 3x plus 10? So we have to remember that whenever you have a quadratic and the coefficient of the x squared is negative, then the quadratic frowns. So already know that the quadratic frowns since the coefficient of x squared is negative 1. Now, let's see how many graphs frowns. We see 2 options with frown. So how we're going to determine which one is the correct answer now is we're going to have to assess the roots. So to assess the roots, right, we're going to go ahead and find the roots of this quadratic. So if we were finding the roots of this quadratic, negative x squared minus 3x plus 10 equals 0. I'm going to multiply through by negative 1. So I can get x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. And if I were to factorize it, that's giving me x, signs are different, and the bigger number get the positive. The 2 numbers to multiply to get 10 would have to be 5 and 2. And we said that the bigger number get the positive, so plus here and minus there. So in that case, the roots are going to be x equal 2 and x equal to negative 5. Which one of these graphs represent the root being negative 2, negative 5 and positive 2? That has to be option A. Here's negative 5. This would be positive 2 right there. If you look at option C, if you look at it carefully, this is more like negative 2 and positive 5. See that? Negative 2, positive 5. Couldn't be that one because the roots are positive 2 and negative 5. And just to verify your answer, you can check it. Check it in the original equation. Negative of negative 5 squared minus 3 times negative 5 plus 10. Voila, 0. So indeed, negative 5 is a root and positive 2. That takes care of question 5. Nice. Question 6. Question 6 says, given that y equal negative x squared minus 2x plus 3 can be written as y equal negative in bracket x plus 1 all square plus 4, then the maximum point is always negative h. So the number that is here, that's plus 1. When you set that equal to 0, x plus 1, you'd end up get x equal negative 1. So it's negative 1, 4 is the maximum point. Option A. Question 7. It says if f of x is 7 minus 2x and g of x is x squared plus 1, then g f of x is, g f of x mean we're going to put f of x into g. So putting f of x into g, what we will get is, this becomes, so g f of x, just to write it out, equal, put your f of x into g, it becomes 7 minus 2x squared plus 1. Alright, and so all we have to do now is just simplify this beautiful equation. So simplifying this beautiful equation, it becomes first term square, 49, minus twice the product of the 2. 2 times 7 is 14, and 2 times 14 is 14x. Then negative 2x, when you square it, that becomes plus 4x squared plus 1. Now you're probably saying, hold up, how I expand that so easy? There's a formula to expand a plus b all squared. It is first term square plus twice the product of the 2 plus second term square. That's the formula I'm using to expand this. Instead of having to write 7 minus 2x times 7 minus 2x, okay? So this is the formula I use, just for clarity. Now 49 plus 1 is 50. So we get 50 minus, oh, this was the 28 here, twice the product of the two. 50 minus 28x plus 4x squared. And that will be option D. Yes, option D. That's it. Nice. Now question 8, it says, which of the following points is on the perpendicular bisector of the line segment from P to Q? Now, if you always want to just sketch it, we know it's the midpoint of the two of them, but I love when we just picture exactly what's happening. So let's say P is right here, 1, 5. This is our point P. And then Q is the point 7, negative 1. 7, negative 1. This is Q. Let me connect the line now with a red line. This is the line from P to Q. Now, if you want the bisector of it, the bisector is a line that passes through the midpoint of PQ. The midpoint of PQ, we just need to find that. Alright? So let's find the midpoint of PQ. Let's call it M. So the midpoint, first it's the average of the x. So M will be equal to average of the x, 1 plus 7 over 2, comma, 5 plus negative 1 over 2. That will work out to be 8 over 2 is 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2. That's 4, 2. Which makes sense. Fit our diagram. Option C. Nice. Alright, question 9. It says, which of the following represents the equation of the line that passes through the point 2, 1 and has a positive gradient and makes an angle of 45 degrees with the x-axis? Always remember that the gradient of a line is equal to the tan of the angle that is made with the positive x-axis. So in this case, the gradient is equal to the tan of 45 degrees, but the tan of 45 is 1. And so therefore, the equation of the line now is y equal to mx plus c. But we already have our y is 1, the gradient is 1, and our x is 2 plus c. Transposing for c, what we end up get is 1 minus 2 equals c, and so c equal to negative 1. So the equation of the line then, substituting back into this form, the equation of the line is y is equal to m, which is 1, x plus c, and c is negative 1. So y equal x minus 1. That's option C. Now, I really don't like to do it this way. I don't like to use this formula right here. There's another formula to use. The formula goes like this. Y minus the y value at the point equal gradient in bracket x minus the x value at the point. Alright, and using this formula, you're going to get y minus 1 equal 1 in bracket x minus 2. So y minus 1 equal x minus 2. Then you add 1 to both sides, so you get y equal x minus 1. Nice. Now, I prefer to use this way right here. And that is because we didn't find c and then resubstitute back into the original equation. So that's why I prefer this way right here. This is my preference, but I know many will prefer the y equal mx plus c. Alright, question 10. Question 10, it says, if 2 to the x equal 5, then x is equal to, so we need to find x now. So to find x now, we just need to take the log of both sides. Whenever the unknown is in the power, take log of both sides. So we get log of 2 to the x equal log 5. Then we bring down the power, so we get x log 2 equal log 5. Then we divide both sides by log 2. This cancel. And so x is equal to log 5 divided by log 2. That's option A. Nice. Question 11. It says, which of the following statements are true? If x minus 2 is a factor of f of x equal x squared minus 3x plus 2. Now, if x minus 2 is a factor, then when you set x minus 2 equals 0, you get x equal 2. So we're saying then f of 2 equals 0 is true. We're then saying that x equal 2 is a root is true. And we're saying if you were to do the synthetic division or the polynomial division, the remainder should be 0. So all are true, so it's option D. What a easy question. Really easy. Nice. Alright, question 12. Question 12 says, which of the following trigonometric graphs represent y equal tan x? So tan is a very peculiar function, and I describe it as being weird because there's some issues with the tan graph. So let's go ahead and create a sketch of it. Let's look at when x is certain values that you see on it right here. When x is pi over 2, this is in radians, of course. Now we know that the tan of pi over 2, the tan of 90, if you don't remember, put it in a calculator. Tan 90 is what? Can't work that out. It is undefined. Tan 90 is undefined, or some might write infinity. Alright, so this is our y value. It's undefined, so we'll put some dotted lines. Alright, or we call it a vertical asymptote. Now, the next value is pi. Now, the tan of pi is the tan of 180. If you don't remember, you put in a calculator, tan 180. Tan 180 is 0. That's 0. Then you put in 3 pi over 2. Tan 3 pi over 2 is tan 270. Put it in a calculator. Tan 270. Can't work that out. Then tan 2 pi, of course, we already know that is 0. But if you don't remember, put it in. Tan 360 degrees, 0. So now we have our basis, or we have our points to plot the graph. So if you just want to create your own little sketch, then see which one is correct. Alright. Oh, we didn't put in 0, right? The tan of 0. Let's put in the tan of 0. Tan of 0 is 0. So nice. So when x equals 0, the y value is 0. When x equals pi over 2, there's no y value. So we draw our dotted line like this. When x equals pi, that's another 0. Cool. When x equals 3 pi over 2, no y value again. And when x equals 2 pi, we get 0. So now how our tan graph look? How the tan graph look? Option A out, because we don't see any asymptote at A. So it could be option B or option D. You notice it could be option B or option D because they give us the asymptotes. Now, of course, it couldn't be option D because the asymptotes are at pi and 2 pi. It should be at pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2. So it has to be option, here it is, option B. This is it. Alright? Nice. So this is our tan graph going like this, going up, and like this. That's our tan graph. Nice. Question 13, it says, this item refers to the following sequence in an arithmetic progression. So anytime you're given arithmetic progression, you start think about A, your first term. Your first term is negative 3. Your common difference, which is the second term, minus the first term. So it is 1 minus minus 3. And 1 minus minus 3, that is positive 4. That's our common difference. Now, notice that this is a finite arithmetic progression. You know how many terms are in the sequence. So let's go ahead and use that information to help us. Remember the last term in an arithmetic progression. We can find that last term by using the equation. So our last term is 25. it's equal to a plus n minus 1 times d. Now a is what? Negative 3. So 25 equal negative 3 plus n minus 1 times our common difference of 4. Bring over the negative 3, so we get 28 equal 4n minus 4. Bring over the 4 over there, so 32 equal 4n. Divide by 4, so n equal 8. So there are 8 terms in this arithmetic progression. Now that we get that there are 8 terms, they want the sum of the terms in the arithmetic series. So the sum of all the terms in the series is given by, remember the formula, Sn is n over 2 in bracket 2a plus n minus 1 times d. That's the formula to remember. So in this case, let's use the formula right here. S8 is equal to 8 over 2 in bracket 2 times negative 3 plus n minus 1, n is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7, times the common difference, which was 4. And you just put that in a calculator. You literally don't need to even simplify it. 8 over 2 in bracket 2 in bracket negative 3 plus 7 times 4. You just put it in your calculator and you're good. That's 88. That's option B. Nice. Alright. The next question right here, number 14, it says the product of these two matrices equal. So we just need to look at which one is correct in terms of multiplication. So we know we go row by column. So the first element should be 2 times 8 plus 9 times 4. There's only one option with that, so it's D. Imagine, that's so easy. 2 times 8 plus 9 times 4. Then we know the second one should be first row times second column. 2 times 7 plus 9 times negative 6. Alright, so that had to be option D. That's too easy. Question 15. Question 15 says the determinant of the matrix, this is, so let's go ahead and find the determinant. So to find the determinant of this matrix right here, right, we need to decide which row we're going to use or which column. I like to use the first row. So I like to say using row 1. So using row 1, the determinant of the matrix is now negative 1 times the determinant of, you cross out the row and the column with that negative 1 in it. So cross out the row and the column with that negative 1 in it. You're left back with 0, 0, 7, 8. Then you have minus negative 5 times the determinant of, cross out the row and the column with negative 5 in it. You're left back with, so cross out the row and the column with negative 5, you're left back with negative 1, 0, 1, 8. So that's negative 1, 0, 1, 8. Then you have plus 0 times anything is 0. So it don't even matter what we write right here. It's just 0 times anything is 0. So even though we're going to put the negative 1, 0, 1, 7, we know 0 times anything is 0. Let's simplify. So this is negative 1 in bracket. 0 times 8 is 0. Minus 0 times 7 is 0. Then minus 5 become plus 5 in bracket. Negative 1 times 8 is minus 8. Then minus 0 times 1 is 0 plus 0. So we end up get 0. Then negative 8 times 5 is negative 40 plus 0. So that's negative 40. Negative 40 is option A. Too easy. You tell them nice. You get this question on the paper, you can tell them nice. Okay. Moving on to question 16. Question 16 is module 2. So 16 to 30 is module 2. And this is from my favorite module, which is statistics. So let's go ahead and do these set of questions here. So it says, at a lumber yard, a saw is set to cut wood to lengths of 400 centimeters. Assuming that x represents the length of a piece of wood in centimeters, a sample of 10 lengths of wood gave the following results. The mean length in centimeter is, so now we're just going to pop out our calculator and do this. So we have 398.5 plus 400.0 plus 398.8 plus 400.3 plus 399.0 plus 400.5 plus 399. Alright, why keep doing that? Plus 399.6 plus 400.7 plus 399.6 plus 401.0. So just checking if I input all the numbers correctly. You always have to do that in a calculator. Ensure that you input all the numbers correctly. I did. Divide by 10. 399.8. That's our mean. Easy. Just use a calculator. Add them up, divide by the 10. That's it. Now, the next question says the median length is, notice they gave us in ascending order. So the median is just the middle term. Remember, the position of the median is a half the n plus 1 term. Let me zoom out. So to find the median, the position of the median, remember Q2 is equal to half n plus 1. But n is what? 10. So it's a half 10 plus 1, which is 5.5. 5.5 is where? 5.5 is in between the fifth and the sixth term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth term. This is the sixth term. So what we're going to do is add them. 399.6 plus 400.0 and divide by 2. When we do that, we get 399.8. That's option B. Now guys, look at that. You see this question right here? The mean and the median are the same thing. Wow. When the mean and the median are the same, typically we like to say that the data is symmetric. The data is what? Symmetric. The data is symmetric. Typically, or it's close to symmetry. Very close. Alright, question 18. It says the amount of spending money given to 5 students to attend an overseas conference is most appropriately represented using, well, if it's just 5 students, it's best to represent this. The amount of spending money given, let's look at the distribution of the weighting of how the money is given to each student. So it's represented best by a pie chart, because line graph, we want to show trends. Histogram, we want to show some sort of continuity, right? That's the histogram. Now the stem and leaf, this one is tricky. We can use the stem and leaf to show 5 data sets, but the pie chart would be most appropriate. Notice the keyword, most. You could represent it on a stem and leaf or pie, either is fine, but the better one suited for this job is a pie. That's option C. Question 19, it says a school has 3 teaching vacancies to fill. 9 persons apply for the position. In how many ways can 3 applicants be selected? So all you're going to do is just put in, you have 9 is the total, and you want 3 teachers, so it's 9 choose 3. And you put that in a calculator. You just put in 9, shift, choose 3, we get 84. That's option D. But what if you're one of those students that say, well, sir, that is so boring, I want to work it out? You can work it out by using the formula. Remember, this is the formula for NCR. NCR is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial, r factorial. So this will be 9 factorial over 9 minus 3, 6 factorial times 3 factorial. Then you know that 9 factorial is just 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial over 6 factorial 3 factorial. Then you know that the 6 factorials will cancel. Then you work out 9 times 8 times 7 and divide it by 3 factorial. So 9 times 8 times 7 divided by 3 factorial, which is 6, you still get to 84. So it depends. If you like to do it the long way, I have no issue with that. I am just like that as well. I don't like a shortcut, so just work it out the long way. Question 20. It says item 20 to 21 refers to the following stem and leaf, which shows the marks of 19 students who took a mathematics test. Wow, look at the standout. Somebody got 96, but somebody also got 26, so that's poor. It says what's the mode? The mode is a number that most frequently occurs. So let's see. I see 65 occur twice, right? Any other number that occur more than once? So let's look through. I see they have 75 as an option. 75 only appeared once, so no. 65, yeah, 2. 55. 55 only appeared once, so the option is option B. 65 is the mode. It occurred twice. Then it said the median of the students' mathematics test is. Now the median, remember the position of the median Q2 is a half n plus 1. So it's a half 19 plus 1, which is a half of 20 is 10. So it's the 10th highest is going to be the median. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the median is 57. That's the median. This is Q2. That's the median. The median is 57. Here it is, option C. Question 22. It says item 22 refers to the following information. 75% of all children with an allergic reaction reported relief after using a new drug. A community clinic administered the drug to 8 children diagnosed with the allergic reaction. Which of the following distribution is appropriate based on the information given? They give us n. N equal 8. 75% of all children. They're giving us P, 0.75. So we can even find Q now, 0.25. So guess what? The best thing to use is a binomial distribution since we have N and P. So it's best represented by binomial distribution. Too easy. Nice. Question 23 says, which of the following graphs represents a positively skewed? Easy. Option B. Positively skewed. Remember the formula for skewness. Skewness is equal to mean minus mode. Or it is equal to 3 in bracket mean minus median. That's the formula to find skewness. And when skewness is greater than 0, that's when it's positively skewed. It's positively skewed when it's shaped like this one. In this case now, what we're saying then is that the mean is greater. This one right here, what we're saying is that the mean is greater than the mode, the most frequent probability. So this right here, mean. When the mean is greater than the mode, it's positively skewed. Alright, so that is option B. So that's an easy one. Part A, this is normal distributed. You can see the mode is right here. And you can also see this line represents the mean. So this is, of course, normally distributed. Option A is just normal. And normal distributed, that means that the skewness equals 0. Just some additional information to note down. Skewness is 0. So it's option B, that one is positively skewed. Well, easy. Question 24 says, which of the following is not a characteristic of the normal distribution? We just looked at the normal distribution in 23. This was the normal distribution. We know it is symmetric on the left and the right since the skewness is 0. So that is true. So 24 is true. The total area is 1. We know that is also true. It says the curve has two tails that extend indefinitely. That is true. Now, part C then, that is the part that is false. You don't even need to know it because the next three are true. The value of the mean is always greater than the value of the standard deviation. That is rubbish. The mean can be 0 and the standard deviation is 1. The mean can be 20 and the standard deviation is 25. We don't know. The mean is not always greater than the standard deviation. So that's not necessarily true. Question 25. Question 25 says, this refers to the following table which shows a number of 3 types of cell phones sold by 3 stores. What is the probability that a cell phone selected at random from store C is a SAM ring? So it's selected from which one? Store C. And it is a SAM ring. So the total from store C, if it's selected from store C, this is what we're dividing by 105. How many SAM rings are in store C? Let's have a look at it. SAM ring is 40. 40 over 105, option A. Nice. Alright, question 26. Question 26 says, which of the following type of relationships exists between two variables when a correlation coefficient R 0.47 is obtained? Now that's moderate. So this is what you need to remember. If R is between 0.85 to 1, then it is strong correlation. That's strong. Then moderate is now going from 0.84 to it's greater than 0.4. Then we say that it is moderate. And when R is between 0 and let's say 0.39, then we'll say it is weak. That's weak correlation. Now, these are all positive correlation. The same can be said if they were negative values. But this is just moderate correlation, no problem. Now it says X follows a binomial distribution of NP, number 27. If the mean is 3 times the variance, the probability P is... So let's go ahead and have a look at it. So if the mean is 3 times the variance, remember for a binomial distribution, the mean E of X is found by N times P. Yeah? And they say the mean is 3 times the variance. So they're giving us that the mean is 3 times var X. But remember, E of X, they're just telling us E of X is 3 times var X. But E of X is NP, and this is 3 times var X is what? N times P times Q. And now they want us to find out what is P. So let's go ahead and find out what is P. So this is saying NP equal 3 NP in bracket 1 minus P, because that's our Q. If we divide both sides by our N, this gone, this gone. So now we're getting that this becomes P is equal to 3P in bracket 1 minus P, right? And now we just need to simplify this, and that will give us our value of P. So expanding, this is now 3P minus 3P squared equal P. Bring everything to one side. It's now saying 3P squared, bringing over the 3P squared to the left side. Bring over the 3P over to the left side as well. P minus 3P is minus 2P. That equals 0. Aha. So now we just need to solve this equation. Let's solve this equation right here. We can factor out P. Factoring out P we have in bracket 3P minus 2 equals 0. So that means p equals 0 or 3p minus 2 equals 0. So p equals 0, and so that means 3p equal 2, and so p equal 2 over 3. That's option C. It couldn't be 0. This one is not valid because p cannot be 0. How can the probability be 0? It don't make any sense. So p is 2 over 3. That was nice. That was fun. Now question 28. Question 28 says the probability of b is, so we need to use the tree diagram. Where is b? Here is b. If this one is 0.45, when you add them, 0.45 and the number down here should be 1. So it has to be 0.55. It's option B. Now, let's just fill in the rest of the table. This should be 0.7. When you add them, you get 1. This should be 0.4. Now we can do the question now. It says the probability of C and L occurring. So the probability of C and L. So we just need to multiply them. So this is C and L, this is C, and this is C and L occurring. So the probability of C intersect L is just the product of 0.45 and 0.3. So we multiply them. I'm just going to use my calculator for simplicity. 0.45 times 0.3, and we get 0.135. That's option B. Nice. Question 30 says the random variable z has a standard normal distribution such that the probability of z less than a is 0.992. The value of a is, so all we're going to do is go to our normal table and look for 0.992. So go to the normal table and look for 0.992, and you're looking for that in the probability. 0.99 what? 0.9922. So 9922 has a nice ring to it. 9922. Here it is. 0.9922. That occurs when the z value is 2.4 something. So 2.4 how much? Let's zoom out from the normal table. That's 2.42. See it here? So z is 2.42. So now we can go back to our question and say, well, that did easy. A is 2.42. Easy. It's number 30. All right, question 31. So now we reach calculus. Calculus is differentiation, integration, limits, and continuity. So question 31, it says, given that f of x is x ln x, then the first derivative of f is, we need to differentiate it using product rule. So this is product rule, right? So f prime of x is going to be equal to, well, it depends on how you learned it. So let me not skip that step. I always call it f and s, all right? So the rule for product rule, if y equal fs, then the derivative is given by keep the first times the derivative of the second plus keep the second times the derivative of the first. That's the formula I use. It makes sense. So this is how we differentiate this now. The derivative will be f prime of x equal to keep the first is the x, times the derivative of the second. The second is ln x. When you differentiate ln x, you get 1 over x, plus keep the second is ln x, times the derivative of the first. The derivative of the first is 1. So the answer works out to be x times 1 over x is just 1 plus ln x. Option A, 1 plus ln x. Question 32. It says a function f is defined as, it's a piecewise function, it's 2x and 4x plus 1. It is 2x when x is less than a half, it's 4x plus 1 when x is greater than or equal to a half. It says at x equal a half, let's see what happened. At x equal a half, let's look at it. So first thing I'll evaluate is the limit. the limit from the left side. The limit from the left side of f of x would be 2 times a half, which is giving me 1. The limit from the right side, so that is 4x plus 1. When I put that in, I get 4 times a half, which is 2 plus 1 is 3. But 1 don't equal 3, so the limit, so what we're concluding is that the limit from the left of f of x is not equal to the limit from the right. So when the limit from the left is not equal to the limit from the right, then that means that the function is discontinuous at x equal a half. It is not continuous. It is discontinuous at x equal to a half. Question 33. It says, given that f of x equal x squared plus 2x minus 3 over x plus 3, then the limit as x approach negative 3 of f of x is. So now, to find the limit now, first thing we need to do is we need to remove the discontinuity. To remove the discontinuity first, this will become the limit as x approach negative 3 of, factorize the numerator. So we factor it, x, signs are different, the bigger number get the positive, plus, minus, bigger number get the what? Positive. So this get the 3, this get the 1, x plus 3. So now the x plus 3 cancel the x plus 3. And so now we just plug in x as negative 3. So that becomes negative 3 minus 1, which is negative 4. Once we get negative 4, that's option A. Let's say you can't bother do all of that. There's a quick way to do these questions with your calculator. I want you to take out your calculator and you're going to put in a number close to negative 3. So maybe you can use negative 3.01. So look at this. Negative 3.01 square plus 2 times, you're going to use that same number for x, negative 3.01 minus 3 over negative 3.01 plus 3. You're going to get roughly negative 4. So you get a number very close to the answer, which is the answer, negative 4. So that's another way to do limits if you can't bother to do all of that work. Question 34, it says, if a function f is defined by, this is f of x, x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5x minus 7, then the gradient at x equal to is, so we just need to differentiate. So f prime of x is going to be, when we differentiate x cubed, we get 3x squared. When we differentiate minus 3x squared, we get minus 6x plus 5. Now to find the gradient, you're going to input x as 2. So when x equal to, f prime of 2 is now 3 times 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 5. Now 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12 minus 12 plus 5, which is just 5. That's too easy. Nice. Question 35, it says, if c is a constant of integration, then when we integrate 6x, we know we're going to get add 1 to the power, divide by the power, minus add 1 to the power, divide by the power, plus c. But 6x squared over 2 is just 3x squared. So this is just 3x squared minus 3x plus c. 3x squared minus 3x plus c. Easy. Question 36. It says a firm's marginal profit in thousands is given by this function, which is defined by p prime of x is negative 0.8x plus 6. If p of 0.5 is 8, then p of x is, first thing we need to do is integrate to find p. So when we integrate to find p, we'll get that p of x equal the integral of negative 0.8x plus 6. Integrating, what we get is negative 0.8x squared over 2 plus 6x plus some constant c. Now, negative 0.8 over 2 is negative 0.4x squared plus 6x plus c. But now we need to find that constant of integration. No worries, that is why they gave us this information. They're telling us when x is 0.5, the y value is 8, so that's p of x. In other words, we can substitute now 8 equal negative 0.4 times 0.5 square plus 6 times 0.5 plus c. Then you need to solve this equation for c. So I'm going to put all of that in the calculator. Negative 0.4 times 0.5 square plus 6 times 0.5. That works out to be 2.9. Then I bring it over to the other side. So 8 minus 2.9 is 5.1. So that is C. So C equal 5.1. Once you get C equal 5.1, then now you can write down your P of X. And your P of X is now negative 0.4x squared plus 6x plus the 5.1. That is option D. Nice. That's it. Question 37. It says the integral of 2 over x squared. Now, first thing you have to do is rewrite it in index form. So you're integrating 2x to the minus 2 dx. Then you add 1 to the power, so you get 2x to the minus 1. They divide by the power of negative 1 plus c. They need to rewrite this back in the form that they gave it to you. So this becomes x to the minus 1 is 1 over x. So this is now 2 over x, but then there was a minus here, so minus 2 over x plus c, which is option A. Nice. That's number 37. Alright, let's move on. Question 38. It says if c is a constant of integration, then the integral of e to the minus 2x dx is, so we need to work out this right here. So when we integrate e to the minus 2x, integrating that, what we get now is, when you integrate, all you do is divide by the derivative in the power. So that becomes e to the minus 2x divided by negative 2 plus c. That would be option D. Very easy question. Number 39. If c is a constant of integration, what's the integral of 5 over x? That becomes 5 times the integral of 1 over x dx. And the integral of 1 over x is ln x. So this is 5 ln x plus c. So that's 5 ln x plus c. Option A. Very easy. Question 40. Y equals sine 2x. Then y prime is dy by dx. In other words, when you differentiate sine, what you get is cosine 2x, but then you multiply it by the derivative of the 2x, which is 2. So it's 2 cosine 2x. Very easy. Number 41. Number 41 says the cost in dollars, C of x, of an item is given by the equation 2x squared plus x plus 100. The marginal cost is calculated using the derivative. Hence, the marginal cost when x equal 10 is, so first find c prime of x. That will be 4x plus 1. Then we need to plug in x as 10. So that's 4 times 10 plus 1, which is 41. Option C. Very easy. All right. Option C. Now, looking now to question 42. 42 says, given that f of x is 2x plus 1 and g of x is x minus 3, what's the limit of f of x, g of x? Now, the limit of the product is the product of the limit. So first thing we need to find first is the limit as x approach 3 of f of x, which is the limit as x approach 3 of 2x plus 1, which is 2 times 3 plus 1, which is 6 plus 1, which is 7. Then the limit as x approaches 3 of g of x, which is x minus 3, is 3 minus 3. But guess what? That's 0. So then 7 times 0 is 0. So overall, this limit is 0. Wow! All you have to do is find the limit of the first one, find the limit of the second one, then multiply them. Alright, just multiply them. Instead of having to do this, the alternative method would be to expand it. We don't have time to expand it like this. 2x plus 1 times x minus 3. When you work that out, you get here 2x squared. Then this becomes minus 6x plus x is minus 5x minus 3. When you get this answer, then you plug in the 3. After you get that right there, then you plug in the 3. The 2 times 3 square minus 5 times 3 minus 3, you're still going to get it 0. I'm saying don't do it that hard way. You expand and then plug in 3. Why not just find the limit of the first one, find the limit of the second one, then multiply them. Cool. Question 43. Question 43 asks us to evaluate the integral from 3 to 9 of this expression here. So first, add 1 to the power, x cubed over 3 plus 7x squared over 2. Then we have minus 3x. And we're integrating from, that's 3 to 9. So now we just need to input 9 in this here. So I'm just going to do it in the calculator, input the 9. Input in the 9, it's going to be 9 cubed over 3 plus fraction button 7 in bracket 9 square over 2 minus 3 in bracket 9. So when we input 9, what we get is 999 over 2. Minus when you input x as 3 now. So let's put in x as 3. So change all the 9 them to 3. So we do that and what we get is 63 over 2. So now we just need to subtract. That look like 400 and something. So let's subtract 999 over 2 minus 63 over 2, 468. Easy. Question 44, it says, if y equal ln x over x, then the derivative of x, the derivative with respect to x is, so now we need to differentiate this. Now, to differentiate this now, right, we're going to use quotient rule. Quotient rule is this, y equal top over bottom, then dy by dx is equal to, you start with the bottom times the derivative of the top, minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom square. So you start with the bottom and you end with the bottom square. So in this case, our dy by dx is going to be start with the bottom, which is x, times the derivative of the top. When you differentiate ln x, you get 1 over x. Minus the top, which is ln x, times the derivative of the bottom x, which is 1, over the bottom square. So now we just need to simplify this expression. But we know that x times 1 over x is just 1. So the answer works out to be, just to write it over here in red, the answer for it, this works out now to be 1 minus ln x over x squared. You can separate them as 1 over x squared minus ln x over x squared. Option B. Nice. The last question right here says, given that f prime of c equals 0, so we know it's a stationary point once the first derivative is 0, and the second derivative at c is greater than 0. When it's greater than 0, it's a minimum stationary point. So it's a minimum turning point, option B. Don't need to do anything. We're done. Alright? So this was the 2021 Integrated Mathematics paper. Alright, so it was very easy, it was very fun. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this video and that it was useful. Make sure to just subscribe to help the channel to grow. and I'll see you soon in my next videos. All the best practicing for your exam.